So I'm going to go ahead and start us off here. I have a computer mouse model. Just going to go ahead and build this model. Go ahead, zoom in. Just to show you here, we're going to deviate it a little bit just to show you that we have this model toleranced up. So to start the webinar off here, I'm going to go ahead and run 2,000 samples. So with this 2,000 samples, I'm going to show you how you can utilize QDM in this case. So in the analysis window, I have a file I have saved simulation as or sensitivity as. Both the simulation and the sensitivity can be brought into QDM. I'm going to go ahead and just show you the route with the simulation. So when I'm saving this as a simulation, I have many options which they will all work in QDM. I have the histogram and a few different CSVs. One that works real well is a QDM DCS DB2 file. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. So by saving this, it's creating a statistical file that can be read into the QDM software.
All right, while that's going on, I just want to bring up, as you start transitioning this to the QDM for 3DCS, just mention which software platforms you're using.
Right, so I've exported this from the Catia platform, but it also has the same options in NX, Multicad, and Creo. So I'm going to go ahead and go into our QDM software here. So starting new.
So for those of you not familiar, this is QDM Analyst. In version 7.5 of 3DCS, there's better connectivity between QDM Analyst and 3DCS. So QDM Analyst can be used as a very inexpensive support tool to allow you to use and create more outputs for your 3DCS model. And that's one of the things we wanted to show you today, is how this inexpensive add-on module, QDM Analyst, can be used to support supplier quality by utilizing your completed 3DCS model.
Right, so the two inputs here for QDM are the CAD data as well as a text file, such as something that could be from a measurement machine, or also there are many file types from 3DCS. So the first step, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to import the files here, the CAD files. So we have our mouse here in the QDM software. Next thing I'm going to do is import the data. This is the file that was just saved out. So with this CSV, just got to make sure I have the right drop-down selected. And in the background, it's putting those points, putting that information into the QDM software. So with one of our very common file types, it's easily being passed back and forth. This one's got the 2,000 runs, so it's just taking a few seconds here.
And these runs are from your Monte Carlo simulation.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, with the Monte Carlo simulation, we're going to see the actual histograms show up here in QDM. The 2,000 simulations here. We have many different chart types in QDM. By default here, I have one of our chart types that we're actually going to be getting into on our webinar. This is our measurement plan chart type. But real quickly here in the background, I'm going to go ahead and make all of these charts into a histogram with our DCS chart. So now we have histograms here for every point that was measured. The DCS chart dialog box here where I can turn on different statistics that can be seen in that histogram. And all these same statistics are the exact same statistics that can be toggled on and off in your model. I see I got a little bit of gray here. I need to update my color. make it coordinate a little bit better. So now I have all my histograms on one page. Looks a little cluttered right now, but we have options such as sort data, which I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tell the system to put 2 histograms on a page. So it's going to go through. Now we have multiple pages, 2 histograms. The next thing I'm going to do is we have an ergo place, which will go through the report and provide a nice layout and a standardized uniform layout. So now in just a few minutes here, I've created a report that has 7 pages, and each page has 2 charts on a page. When I do this ergo place, it asks me to do current page or all pages. So I actually need to do all pages in this case. So we can go through this report, and we have histograms with leader lines pointing at that location. This CAD here is 3D, so I can zoom in, out, pan, rotate, just as you can in a Catia or multi-CAD type situation. Again, all the statistics are provided right out of 3DCS, and they can be added or removed as needed. Also, when we're seeing a histogram here with a little bit of red, I can do the same exact steps in regards to exporting from the model and importing it into QDM. So I could have this one here show the contributors for this one that we're seeing red. So real quickly here, I just gave you a little introduction on the different types of management reports that we can create.
So can you create a 3DCS report out of Catia real quick?
Sure.
So you all might be familiar. Within all of our 3DCS platforms, we have a one-button report authoring. If you want to just pull that up.
HTML, yep.
Yeah, just do the HTML.
So we can go ahead. Let me move a few things around here. HTML, Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. So I'm just going to generate the HTML here real quick. So a few of my views will be off, but just to give you an idea here, we have the system taking a few pictures here in the background. So we get an HTML report. Some of you may be familiar with this. It has the different tabs for summary, results, all in a table format, as well as tolerances, measurements, GD&T, assembly sequence. So what we're seeing is, instead of all this information being posted and digging through it, going through every single button click and some of the measures, we now have a little bit more simplified report here that has the histogram and the statistics with a visual leader line, so you can see exactly where that is. If the point name, maybe doesn't make sense, or not everyone's understanding the specifics of the point name, now with the actual leader line pointing right to where it is, such as here, we have a few different gaps. QDM has a lot of different options here in regards to adding bitmaps, JPEGs, where we're seeing more and more people add the GD&T callout right on this page. So that way they can see what they've run 2,000 simulations against. Maybe it was, in this case, we're going through and checking interference. Could be assembly, GD&T. So this is a real simplified report. And again, you can add to it, add text boxes.
So just to reiterate real quick, so you're saying that so this shows a nice summary of the data that's easier to share and present. Now, I had a question come in that makes a really good point, that the measurements used in the example look like single point to nominal measurements. For point to point, can we show both the measure to and measure from points and direction in the QDM histograms?
At this time, the leader line is just pointing to the first point of the point-to-point measure.
Yeah, this is a gap measurement. It's a point-to-point measurement, but the leader line is linked to one point.
Right. Yep. So in that case, yeah, the system's just using the first point. We do have tools in QDM to create a measure from one point to another. It's one of our more advanced options. And definitely to follow up on that question, if someone's more interested, we can show them at a later time.
Can QDM reports display DCS points?
QDM points. So all of these points here, this is the point. These are the measures, but yes, for the piece part points, we're going to be getting into that actually next, and show you how you can export points on a piece part rather than here when I exported the points that were actual measures.
I think Inspection Planner allows you to grab CAD points as well and use CAD points.
Okay. So with the management report aspect here, again, if you have any questions, let us know.